Hey, do you remember Until Dawn? That one movie game that came out a little over 5 years ago and exploded in popularity due to the fact that it did such a great job at emulating old slasher movie vibes. The game let players steer the story whichever way they liked by allowing any character to die or survive till the end, practically making the perfect environment for eCelebs to stream and let's play the game non-stop without viewers getting bored because they were watching a different story play out every time. Until Dawn is a unique experience that scratches the itch of many horror fans who scream at the TV when a character in a movie does something stupid and gets themselves killed. Now, what would you say if I told you this concept has been done before in an RPG Maker game from 1998? Peret-em-Hru for the Prisoners is a horror RPG for the PC 98, created by Makoto Yaotani under the pseudonym Makoto Serise, and Kei Mizuho, specifically to compete in the ASCII monthly internet contest Park, a competition for showing off games made with RPG Maker with cash prizes for whoever brings the best game. Peret-em-Hru happens to be one of the most popular games to ever come out of the contest, and for good reason too. This game was ahead of its time, practically doing what Until Dawn does before Until Dawn. The story takes place at the Great Pyramid of Giza in 1998, or under it I should say. An archaeology professor, Tsuchida, is convinced that there's a secret chamber underneath the pyramid that houses the mummy of the pharaoh Khufu, and he is determined to discover it by any means necessary, going against the Supreme Council of Antiquities and risking being arrested for the sole purpose of becoming one of the greatest archaeologists of all time. With some explosives, the professor and his assistant find the lost chamber, and that's when everything goes to shit. You see, this place is booby-trapped. Because of this, they realize that they're going to need way more people to help explore this place if they ever hope to find anything. Unfortunately, they don't have enough time to wait for a trained crew to arrive because the SCA will find out what they're doing and have them arrested before they would ever get a chance at exploring the chamber. So the professor assembles a ragtag team of tourists who are viewing the pyramids outside, pretty much planning to use them as pawns whenever something popped off. For the tourists, what seems like an exciting adventure that would spice up their trip to Egypt soon becomes a nightmare as their lives are constantly in danger by not only traps, but also the animals that are somehow thriving down here. You play as Ayuto, a recent high school graduate who's here with 3 other friends. You were selected as the scout for the group tasked with checking ahead and making sure there's nothing dangerous, then reporting your findings to everyone. This job somehow turns into saving everyone's ass. Pretty much everyone in the group has committed a great sin and as a result will be judged by Khufu's curse. The choices that you make as a Yuto will decide who lives and who dies. Some sins are definitely worse than others, and I don't want to be that guy, but I was totally okay with failing to save some of these peoples because they were huge dicks. Not everyone deserved what they got. Like, a character gets judged for being jealous. Jealousy is a disease, bitch. Get well soon. Although this game does have turn-based RPG combat, it is nowhere near the focus. Peret-em-Hru is more about puzzle solving. Not really logic puzzles, but figuring out how you can save everyone. Characters will normally drop hints before a judgment to help you figure out how exactly to prevent their death. To save someone, you have to perform some sort of action or use an item. Most of the requirements to save someone are really simple, and you can take your time to figure it out if you need to. You could even try using every action and every item on everything without any negative consequences during almost all of the judgments. Everything's a little basic for my taste, but luckily it's not the puzzles and being able to save people that makes the game cool. It's the outcome of doing those things or not doing those things. Whether or not you choose to save everyone or let everyone die will affect the overall vibe of the story. By not lifting a single finger and leaving people to their judgment, you get a story about Ayuto witnessing everyone around him dropping like flies in the most gruesome ways possible, as he falls slowly into a dark depressive state, losing his will to go on piece by piece. And although he survives this nightmare, he has to live the rest of his life with the guilt of letting everyone down. This is dark as fuck, and might I add, my favorite way to play this game. On the other hand of the spectrum, by saving everyone, the story feels like an Indiana Jones movie, to be completely honest. As you save people one by one, you get more chances to talk to them and get to know them better. You also get the good ending where everyone swings by your hotel room and thanks you for getting them out of there. It's very wholesome, I will admit. I have no intentions of knocking Indiana Jones, but this has to be way more boring than the darker playthrough. You're missing out on all of the horror and gruesome art if you take this path instead. That's what the game is going for. It's supposed to be dark, it's supposed to be scary, it's supposed to be gruesome, but it's the player's choice. You get to carve out your own adventure, whether you think everyone, just the assholes, or no one should die. You do you, boo. I'm not gonna bully you for choosing to save everyone, but I will be silently judging. Even though Pert-em-Hru doesn't have a system as advanced as Until Dawn's butterfly effect, it still holds the same core concept. Your choices shape the outcome of the story and whether or not characters die. And that's cool. I mean, now there are tons of movie games nowadays that do this, but not many of them are horror themed, or at least I don't think so outside of supermassive games. So I find it neat that Peret-em-Hru did this 20 years ago. It's probably my favorite RPG Maker game that I've played, and I highly recommend it. Oh my god, it has an English translation. Oh, and it's freeware? It's almost like you lose nothing by trying this game out, even if you end up not liking it. Amazing. Anyway, if you do end up playing this game, I recommend using the spoiler-free guide and letting everyone die on your first playthrough and saving everyone on your second. In my opinion, the game is better when everyone dies. When you save everyone, you miss out on all the cool sprites, and the story kinda plays out like an Indiana Jones movie, but at least you get to learn more about the characters and get the good ending, so that's a plus, I guess. Okay, that's it. I'm done talking. Bye.